The roster build is clear. Elite top-end centers, a puck-moving blue line led by Cale Makar, and the most debated area is goaltending, because tournament hockey comes down to a handful of big saves at the right moment. Crosby is the glue, even now. He brings championship habits and Olympic experience, and in a short event, that matters. You're not building for an 82-game season, you're building for a 2-week sprint with medal games under maximum pressure.
Then you've got the connectors, high-skill players who also handle real defensive minutes. Mitch Marner, Mitch Suzuki, Brandon Hagel, Bo Horvat, and Macklin Celebrini. That's playmaking, transition speed, forecheck pressure, and lineup flexibility at center and wing. Let's zoom in on those top centers, because they represent 3 different eras of Canadian excellence. Connor McDavid is the offensive engine of the entire tournament. His game is built on speed that no one else can match, and his role would be to break games open, especially on the power play and in transition. Expect him to carry the puck end to end and force opponents into defensive chaos.
Then you have Nathan MacKinnon, who brings a different kind of power. His game is a direct downhill assault, where McDavid is finesse and MacKinnon is force. He'll be the one driving the net, shooting from everywhere, and physically imposing his will on the game. He's the perfect player for the high-pressure environment of a gold medal match.
And the tournament toolkit is loaded. Brad Marchand, Anthony Cirelli, Tom Wilson, and Mark Stone. That's penalty killing, forecheck pressure, net front work, and late-game defense, plus experience.
In a one-goal semifinal, those are the guys who can flip the ice, bait mistakes, and protect the lead. And yes, this is also where snub talk always lives, because when you take role pieces, some big scorers end up outside.
And that snub talk is worth a moment, because the names left off this roster could form a competitive team on their own. Players like Zach Hyman, who brings elite net front scoring, or Robert Thomas, a premier two-way center, are at home. The debate always comes down to philosophy. Do you take the best goal scorer available, or the player who fits a specific fourth-line penalty-killing role? Canada's defense starts with Cale Makar and Devin Toews, an elite puck-moving partnership that can still defend top competition.
It's a top pair you build a whole tournament plan around. Fast exits, quick re-entries, and instant transition into offense.
The full men's defense group is Makar, Toews, Josh Morrissey, Shea Theodore, Josh Duty, Colton Parayko, Travis Sanheim, and Thomas Harley. It's a blend, mobility and offense for Morrissey, Theodore, Harley, plus reach and shutdown structure from Parayko and Sanheim, and veteran reliability from Duty.
So if you're projecting pairings, you can envision one pair that tilts the ice, one pair that handles matchups while still moving it, and one pair built to close games and kill penalties.
Let's break down those defensive pairings a bit further. The Makar and Toews duo is a luxury. Because they play together in Colorado, their chemistry is pre-built. They won't need a grace period to learn each other's tendencies. They can be deployed in any situation. Offensive zone starts, defensive zone face-offs, or against the other team's best players. Canada's 3 goalies are Jordan Binnington, Logan Thompson, and Darcy Kemper. And this is the loudest question around the men's roster: form versus resume, and who you trust when the medal games hit.
Binnington has the big game narrative. Kemper is the veteran cup winner. Thompson has been the analytics favorite in a lot of projections, and the question becomes, who gives Canada the best chance in a one-game semifinal?
Let's really dig into this goaltending controversy, because it's the single biggest variable for Team Canada. Jordan Binnington's case is built on his 2019 Stanley Cup run. He has a history of elevating his game under pressure and has the aggressive, confident demeanor you want in a big-game goalie. However, his consistency has been a question mark at times in the NHL. Canada doesn't have the prime Carey Price vibe this time, so the plan likely becomes limit high-danger chances, win special teams, and let the superstars tilt the game. John Cooper is the head coach with Doug Armstrong as general manager. The roster construction suggests the system built around fast puck movement, layered support through the middle, and aggressive retrieval to get pucks back for the top-end skill.
Translation, your Hagels, Cirellis, Stones, Marchands,
Those guys do the dirty work so your McDavids and McKinnons get more touches in space. And in short tournaments, special teams can win gold.
Now let's talk line construction, and these are projections, not official lines. A common idea is building around speed and finishing with McDavid, something like McDavid with Hagel in point. Then a heavier, cerebral line built around Crosby and McKinnon with a finishing piece like Reinhart or a defensive hammer like Stone.
A two-way skill line could look like Celebrini, Suzuki, Marner, where you get creativity plus responsible center play. And the matchup line can be a nightmare to play against. Marchand, Cirelli, Wilson, with Horvat and Stone rotating depending on opponent.
Power play on paper, McDavid, McKinnon, Crosby, Reinhart, and Mocker. That's the dream unit people keep circling. Penalty kill leaders expect Cirelli and Hagel to drive it, with Stone, Horvat, and Marchand in the mix. Every Team Canada roster creates debates, and this one is no different. There are high-end offensive names that didn't make it, plus defensemen and goalies that people argue about. But the selection logic usually comes down to role fit, special teams value, matchup utility, and what translates best to best-on-best tournament hockey.
Also, injuries and late changes are always part of this. Even with a named roster, teams plan for contingencies because one injury changes line combinations, special teams, everything.
Threats are familiar. The headline rival is the USA, with Sweden and Finland always dangerous in tight games. Canada's edge is top-end forward talent and power play ceiling.
The counter is goaltending variance and tournament randomness. If a rival gets elite goaltending and Canada doesn't, that's how short tournaments flip. But on paper, Canada can overwhelm teams with pace, skill, and depth.
To understand Canada's chances, we need to take a detailed look at their primary rivals. The United States is the co-favorite for gold, and their roster is a mirror image of Canada's in many ways. They're built down the middle with elite centers like Austin Matthews and Jack Eichel. Their strength, however, might be on defense, with a mobile, puck-moving core led by Alex Fox, Charlie McAvoy, and the Hughes brothers. Now the women's side. Canada has named its 23-player women's roster for Milano Cortina 2026, built around a veteran Beijing-gold core, elite centers, a mobile defense group, and proven goaltending. Roster structure, 14 forwards, 7 defensive, 3
goalies, and it's a blend of experience and new blood. 16 returning Beijing 2022 gold medalists and 7 Olympic debutantes.
The heartbeat remains Marie-Philippe Poulin, and the core includes Brianna Jenner, Sarah Nurse, Natalie Spooner, and the next wave center star Sarah Fillier.
That's championship leadership plus elite skill. And for depth scoring, debutantes like Darryl Watts can matter. In a tight tournament, secondary scoring is often the separator.
On defense, Canada's identity is mobile and structured. Names like Renata Fast, Erin Ambrose, Jocelyn Larocque, Ella Shelton, and Claire Thompson give you shutdown ability plus puck movement and power play option.
And unlike the men's side, the goaltending story is a strength. Anne-Renee Despienne is the headliner. Emerence Mashmeyer is a proven 1B, and Kaylee Osborne is a key Olympic debutante included for depth and future upside.
The main storyline is still the rivalry. Canada and the USA are the clear top tier, and the Olympic path almost always runs through that matchup.
Canada's edge is experience, structure, and stability in net. But it's a tournament where the difference can be one power play, one bounce, or one goalie duel.
To truly appreciate the women's tournament, you have to understand the Canada-USA rivalry. It is the most intense and compelling rivalry in all of international hockey. These two teams have met in 6 of the 7 Olympic gold medal games since women's hockey was introduced in 1998. The story of the Olympics is, almost without fail, the story of Canada versus the USA. That's your full breakdown of Team Canada from Milano Cortina 2026. Men's roster, roles, the goaltending debate, and the gold medal path, plus a complete snapshot of the women's team.
If you want the next episode, we can do Canada versus USA head-to-head, position by position, and lay out the swing factors for gold. Subscribe so you don't
Don't miss the next one. Thanks for listening to Thanks Hockey.